Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I request Dr. KK to begin the meeting. Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody, and greetings from Indian Medical Association. I'm Dr. KK Agarwal, President, Confederation of Medical Association of Asia and Oceania, and the past National President, IMA. I have with me Dr. R.V. Asokan, the Honorary Secretary General, Indian Medical Association, Dr. Jai Krishna, Dr. Sanchita, and I am honored to introduce Dr. Umesh Bharti, a close friend of our medical fraternity, a field epidemiologist from Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, who did his MBBS in 1992. In 2009, he received master's degree in applied epidemiology from National Institute of Epidemiology, Chennai, affiliated to ICMR, and he has done lots of things with the government. His basic work has been on if you don't have a vaccine, what to do. For his work in 2019, he received Padma Shri by the government of India. And so when it comes to rabies, you cannot think of rabies without Umesh Bharti, as far as Umesh vaccine of rabies is concerned. So today, when we talk about COVID-19, we are going to have a vaccine shortage all over the world. He has done a lot of work on rabies vaccine and anti-serum shortage and possible solutions. So idea was to initiate vaccine discussions in our forum, a series of vaccine. So we want to understand what was his work, how was it useful for reducing the vaccine shortage in rabies, what can be replicated in COVID-19 in future. I present to you Umesh Bharti.
Thank you, Dr. KK Agarwal. I'm very inspired with your patronage. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So today, So today I want to share my experience with respect to rabies that I had as a clinician. I hope I am audible.
Yes.
So when I used to sit in my OPD room, so many times people, if vaccine was available, then it was not affordable. And when it was affordable to some people, then it was not available. So it was a very paradoxical situation. So I saw people dying without purchasing vaccine, despite prescription, because they didn't have that much money to purchase the vaccine for 5 shots of intramuscular vaccination. So that's how this journey started in around 2000 in DDU Hospital Shimla, when I was a very junior clinician, around I would say 20 years back. So nobody used to listen to what I used to say. So that's what I would today discuss, and many slides of this presentation were presented in Geneva, where I was called by WHO to explain how I implemented this intradermal methodology in Himachal Pradesh. So that was in 2010. So many of these slides are on barriers. What are the barriers? Hopefully these barriers won't be there in COVID-19, because everybody is for this COVID-19 vaccine. But still, we should keep these barriers in mind, because you would understand yourself that these barriers are put by whom and how to counter these barriers. So this is where I belong to, Himachal Pradesh. Everybody knows, beautiful tourist destination and erstwhile capital of summer capital of British. And this is a rabies scenario. More than 150 countries afflicted, more in Asia and Africa. Around 20 to 30% burden is borne by India. 55,000 deaths every half an hour, one death in India. 17.4 million bites. This is 2004 data. And the cost of managing animal bite is huge. You can see in the thousands of dollars. Some of the patient I saw, one of my friends who's in a good position immediately has to take loan from the bank because he has to vaccinate the entire family against rabies. So to cut short, WHO recommended this ID vaccine in 1992. Though US was vaccinating its troops that were going out to third world countries in 70s by intradermal route, because that cell culture vaccine was recently developed in those days, and it was very costly even to US people. So they started the intradermal, but the route was approved officially after a lot of studies in Thailand, and it was approved in 1992 by WHO. So high cost of IM route is a big barrier for poor patients, especially for rabies, and because total cost of post-exposure prophylaxis annual cost globally is $583.5 million. You can imagine how much it is by IM route. So now there are a lot of problems for me to introduce this vaccine in a small district hospital where I was working as a junior doctor, uh, not specialized in any discipline. So now I would come one by one and discuss these barriers, and we have to see that these barriers should not come for other vaccines, that can be used for human welfare. So big barrier was gameplay by drug regulatory authorities. So drug regulatory authorities should be for people, but most of them are for the companies. So they play in their hands, and drug regulatory authorities, uh, despite telling them WHO is recommending, we can do multicentric studies, we can do, we can go for intradermal route for wider availability, for affordability. So they were not they were not willing to give it this intradermal approval in India. Though in 2002, WHO clearly said that any country willing to adopt an ID regimen of proven efficacy with the recommended vaccines need not to repeat these routes again and again. So WHO said many countries still doing trials and wasting the time depriving poor from benefit, though many other vaccines are being used without trials in their own countries. So these are the references below. And then another barrier was, hierarchy of the medical doctors and medical institutions. So every time I used to go to my medical superintendent saying we should go for intradermal route for those poor people who cannot afford it. Though those who can afford it can take intramuscular vaccine. So every time I would go to my authorities, they would say no, that AIMS is not doing, PGI is not doing. How can a district hospital do it? Medical college in Himachal is not doing. So and moreover, you are just MBBS. How can you change the policy? So these hierarchical mindset, despite no vaccine being approved in India also.
What happened, Dr. Mesh? Your voice is not coming. Rituji?
Internet issue, sir.
Let him come back. Till that.
Yeah, you can engage. This is 0 hour for you.
0 hour for me. So we there has not been discussion on this particular aspect, that 1 ml of dose you can give it to 10 people. That is what intradermal approach is. Second thing is, it also came in flu, and there were a huge number of studies. They said that you can give 1 dose to 2 people. So the whole idea here is to explore that when the vaccine comes, which route are they going to follow? Are they going to follow intramuscular route or a subcutaneous route or an intradermal route? Nobody has discussed. We have also not discussed till today how many of them will require a cold chain and how many of them will not require a cold chain. There are a couple of companies who are coming forward, specifically RBD spike portion of the vaccine may not require a cold chain. So these are the things we are now exploring about the possibility of getting a vaccine and utilizing it to the maximum time. Unfortunately, we have never been so conscious about a vaccine as we are today. Now we are going into the making of a vaccine, going into the intricacies of a vaccine. So maybe that these types of discussion through IMA, we will be able to come out with some more understanding and involvement of a non-pediatricians into the vaccine generation and the vaccine formation. Now, when he said WHO, yes, WHO has already said that any intradermal, you don't have to, intradermal route provides the same level of antigenicity as, yes, Umesh, continue. Yes, Umesh. Sumesh is still not connected. So what he has said is WHO way back in 2002 has said the intradermal route is an established route, does not require antigenicity testing. Yes, Umesh, are you there? Rituji, any problem?
Yeah, maybe that he is in Himachal Pradesh.
Yes. He is in Himachal Pradesh. So till he comes back, so intradermal route can reduce the cost by 1/10, and now the same has been adopted, approved by WHO in rabies. And because of his persistence on his work, he was given the Padma Shri. Yes, go ahead, Umesh. Kindly unmute and go ahead. Kindly, yes.
Okay, sir.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Yes.
In office. So, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I was saying that despite I have sent the slides to you.
Ritu, can you go ahead with the slides? Ritu? Ritu ji?
Yes, sir.
Can you slide आपको भेजिए? Can you go with the slides?
Just a second, sir.
In the meantime, Umesh ji, you continue.
Yeah, so I was saying that despite doing efficacy studies, the Drug Controller General put many conditions that were not practical, saying that more than 50% should be there, only then intradermal can be done. Otherwise, you have to go for intramuscular route, and similarly, a lot of conditions were put so that it was almost not affordable, no,
The
to
slides
do
are visible?
intradermal vaccination.
It's visible. Can you go further? Go further. Go further. Next. 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 Yeah, next. 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 Put it here. Hold on. Go back. Yes. Go ahead, Umesh. Umesh ji, go ahead. His video is again got stuck. The doctors were not aware of the efficacy studies of intradermal ARV. That's what most of the people were not aware. Can you go next?
Oh, I got electricity.
Next. Ritu ji, next ले लीजिए. Yes. So, and let me read, no, go back, please. Yes. In suppression of the directorate letter of even number dated so and so, wherein it was recommended that the use of intradermal route may be approved for use in anti-rabies clinic, which has attendance of 10 patients per day for post-exposure treatment. It has now been further decided with the approval of competent authority and ICMR that the condition of the unit dose of 0.1 ml of TC ARV vaccine having potency of 2.5 international units per single muscular dose may also be used as a vaccine having potency for use when PVRV 0.5 ml vials one-fifth dose. So this is basically telling us that they have given an approval in 2006. Yes, Umesh.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Kindly go
Next.
ahead.
So from 2006, only 2-3 clinics were there in the country. One in Bangalore, one in Bombay, and a few clinics in UP. So there was not widespread use of this route, but because of fear of its efficacy, thinking small doses would not be useful, and that's what barrier was. Next.
So which vaccine we are using? The same vaccine, commercial vaccine we are using and giving it to?
Yes. So any vaccine for IM use can be used for ID. As far as the potency is 2.5 international unit per vial.
No. So which vaccine? Suppose we are talking about Rabipur or we are talking about any vaccine, you are saying you take it and 1 ml can be given to how many people?
Yeah, earlier there was a restriction. No, only vaccines approved and where the label is saying use intradermal use. Only then we can use. So that's what I was about to show you, that many vaccine companies were not ready to label their vaccine for ID use. But now the WHO has given a recommendation that any vaccine, rabies vaccine, that has a potency of 2.5 international per vial for IM use can be used for ID without any restrictions. So now this recommendation has come. Please next slide.
What will be the dose? This 2.5 per ml will be given to how many people?
See, 2.5 is potency, but the volume sometimes it is 0.5 or sometimes it is 1 ml. So we purchase 1 ml so that more people can be given, because the dose is 0.1 ml intradermal.
So instead of 1 ml, so instead of 1 ml, we are giving, instead of 1 ml, we are using
there are
10 people.
5 people, yes. And 0.5 ml we are using for 2 people, because double dose is to be given, 0.1 ml on both deltoids. So I mean to say 1 ml dose becomes 10 ml dose for ID use. So what I was saying was, like you can see in Bureau vaccine label, it is written intramuscular oblique intradermal route. But earlier the companies were not writing for intradermal route because of fear of losses, that less vaccine would be utilized. Rather, it was other way around. When we started doing intradermal in 2008, we used to give 12,000 prophylaxis in Himachal. Now it is free. More than 43,000 prophylaxis are being given. So you can imagine the vaccine use has gone up around 3 to 4 times than the companies were thinking. And almost death rate has come almost to 0 in Himachal Pradesh, because the prophylaxis is free, and there are 90 pooling centers, and now vaccine as well as immunoglobulin is available up to the remotest of the tribal belts, where some of them are landlocked and snow locked, and that is one of the achievements of what we have done in Himachal. Next, please. So we took many, to overcome these barriers. A lot of things were done simultaneously. NGO was made ready to go to the High Court. We tried to continuously engage with stakeholders, with the administration, with the authorities, and we also sensitized the media, politicians, NGOs, bureaucrats, that we should go for this vaccine for benefit of the people. So another problem came was that the patients were scattered. They used to go to all PSCs, CSCs, so only 1 or 2 patients used to come. So then we sorted this problem by saying, come to one place after getting first aid in the peripheral institutions. So that's how we pooled the patients. And every patient used to be told that bring 1 vial, rest we would give free. Actually, we were not giving free. We were pooling the vials. We used to pull 1 vial and give it to 4 people and keep rest of the 3 vials in the fridge for use next time when they come for inoculation. So that's how this pooling technique helped us, instead of 5 vial being purchased by the patient, only 1 vial has to purchase. So the cost came down to from more than 2,000 rupees to hardly 300 rupees. That was a big saving to the poor patients. So that's the in result, 3.2 times patient load increased in our clinic, and 2.8% load was of poor patients who were coming from far away places, sometimes 150 kilometers away from Shimla to from other districts for getting vaccination, because they were poor and they can't afford all the doses. So it was easy for them to stay with some relative here and get the shots with 1 vial every time intradermally. Next is this I have told you, the increase in patient load, then increase in poor patient load. Next. So this is a 2010 slide. More than 5,000 people were inoculated. More than 12,000 vials of ARV vaccine were given, saving more than $2 lakh of money. Then the CMO, the money with the chief medical officer, 60,000 for per year for rabies was so much sufficiently available to give vaccine free, and that's how the vaccine was given free. More than 15 deaths were averted by free vaccination. And one after the other, all these CMOs at their own level started giving vaccine free without any state government taking any decision, because the money given was sufficient to give free vaccine intradermally. So that's how this miracle happened. People started getting free vaccination in Himachal Pradesh. Next. Next, please. So a drop of vaccine that used to be there left in the vial, we used to store those drops into another vial, drop to another vial, and that's how poor rag pickers of a municipality and these school children were immunized free of cost with the intradermal vaccination. So this is how our journey started on 6/8/2008 with this is the first shot of intradermal vaccine, which is historical for us, and that revolutionized the whole concept of intradermal in our state and in neighboring states. Next. Next, please. Next, please. Hello. Next, please.
Ritu, next, Beja.
Yeah. So no, go back, please.
Go back.
Go back, please. Yeah. So after starting clinic in all the districts of Himachal Pradesh, we started training neighboring states like Uttarakhand, J&K, Madhya Pradesh, and we thought of spreading this technique to entire country, but no, there were so many barriers. Now we are training our neighboring countries also through Zoom and other meetings, and we are trying to make them shift from
So a smooth shift from NTV to CCV can be achieved with similar cost. Next. So way forward is financial support for training on intradermal vaccination to different countries by experts in hospital settings supported by WHO.
Yeah. So especially trainings are very key to this intradermal technique, because it should be done properly. Though we are giving our health worker giving BCG, but still we need to how much dose is to be given. And this slide shows that if we shift globally from IM to ID, the cost can come down from $292 million to hardly $58 million. That is for rabies vaccine, and it would be further more in case of COVID vaccine. Next. So at the same time, massive IC need to be done, because still 1 or 2 deaths in Himachal are due to people not going to the free prophylaxis to the nearby centers, thinking a pet has bitten, a scratch is there, it's not important to get vaccination and all these things. So apart from training to the technical people, IC for common people are very, very important. And this is a quote from PATH document that more than 10 vaccines, including polio, hepatitis B, yellow fever vaccine, influenza vaccine, H1N1 vaccine, they can, be made, they can be given intradermal to cost and make them affordable and easily available. And we are requesting WHO to urgently expedite such cost-saving and vaccine-saving studies. Similarly, COVID-19 vaccine has potential for ID use and increase its availability to double the population than using it IM. So if we shift COVID-19 from IM to ID, more than double the people can be given the vaccine at the same cost, and more people are getting the benefit. Next. So some universal access to affordable treatment, and sometimes less can be not only cost saving, vaccine saving, but more effective than giving it into more doses and IM dose, giving huge quantity by IM doses. Next. So thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the interruption due to lights. Thank you, sir.
So basically, Dr. Umesh, we have talked about 10 different types of vaccines. And we
Yes.
have been studying in the past that flu vaccine can be given to 2 people. Now you are saying that it can be given to 10 people. That means the whole family can be vaccinated for flu.
Depending on the dose, sir. If it is a single dose, it can be given to 10 people. If we have to give double dose like in rabies vaccine, it can be given to 5 people.
No, rabies double dose means?
0.1 ml on both deltoids. Yes.
Okay, so
we
this
give 0.1 ml both deltoids.
And in flu and in because I'm basically concerned about at the moment in COVID era, we are concerned about H1N1 flu vaccines because that's the need of the day and the vaccine is not available. So if we take the Quadri vaccine, do you think that can be given intradermally?
In my opinion, like in COVID vaccine, maybe we have to start with giving it 0.1 ml on both deltoids, and then do some studies, and then maybe come down to single dose. But we have to start with the 0.1 ml on both deltoids.
And
so the one vial that is being given IM to this is 0.5 ml vial of COVID vaccine. I think one vial can be given to 2 people to begin.
And what about flu?
Flu we give 2 shots, but it's still experimental. It's still experimental.
So flu has not been approved to be given intradermal.
No.
So the only thing which has been approved as on today is rabies.
Rabies.
Okay. So amongst the rabies, do you feel the time has come as you have given it to the school children in rural areas? Do you feel that all those people who are dog lovers and all those people who are moving around in the street, they need prophylactic rabies vaccination?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who needs a prophylactic rabies vaccination?
People who have kept dogs at home, people who have a stray population, very high stray population of dogs around.
That's India. That's the whole India.
Yeah, I think in India we are working on a proposal to the government of India to give pre-exposure to the children because they are highly susceptible, and the cost saving and life saving is huge in terms of rabies.
And what about the what is the vaccine we give it to the dog?
Dogs, there are animal vaccines, rabies and Raksha.
But are we giving them intradermal or?
We are trying with Bangalore. We are trying to have a project of intradermal vaccine into dogs for mass vaccination. But we have done intradermal vaccine of cows and buffaloes. That has been very successful in Himachal Pradesh.
Which vaccine?
Giving 0.2 ml to the cow and buffalo.
Which vaccine?
That is animal vaccine, rabies vaccine. That is rabies. That is animal vaccine available for intramuscular use. So we did a small experiment and gave 0.2 ml intradermal vaccine to the cows and buffaloes, along with giving them local infiltration of immunoglobulin in cows and buffaloes bitten by lab-confirmed rabies dogs and rabies mongoose, and the survival is 100%, which is not with the IM vaccine, IM rabies vaccine.
The vaccine which we are giving here is cell-cultured inactivated vaccine. So it is a killed vaccine.
Yes.
How do they prepare this vaccine? Do you think that only such types of vaccine can be given intradermal, which are killed and inactivated?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, rabies vaccine is a live attenuated. It is cultured in cells, viro cells or chicken embryo cells, and then they neutralize this vaccine with propylone or some other agents, So they inactivate this vaccine and then we give.
So it is originally a live attenuated vaccine and then killed.
No, originally it is a live cell culture that is inactivated with different agents.
So in COVID, we don't have any inactivated vaccines so far. All of them are.
This vaccine by serum, this vaccine COVID that is in India, that is inactivated only.
Okay, but they are not using it through a culture. How are they making it, inactivating it? That Bharat Biotech vaccine.
That process, I don't know how they are doing it, but I think
you
they are
feel
doing the
that-
similar way.
So by all means, that Bharat Biotech vaccine, which is inactivated vaccine, which they are also trying to use with an adjunct, you feel is that intradermal route may be tried by some people in future.
Yes, and it would not be, it would not only be cost effective, it would be very, very highly effective than giving it intramuscular. I would say it would generate more titers perhaps than giving it by IM route.
Now, what is the pathogenesis of titration, intradermal versus intramuscular, in terms of cellular immunity? How does it work?
In intradermal, we are giving this directly to the antigen presenting cells. In intramuscular, it goes to the blood, get diluted, goes here and there, get neutralized in some parts. So instead of giving intramuscular, if we give even small amount intradermally, the antigen presenting cells directly give it to the lymph nodes, and then the process of antibody making starts. So it is very quick, very effective, and highly protective.
And why all the vaccine cannot be used? Why only polio, hepatitis B, yellow vaccine? Why not others?
Mostly these are the viral vaccines that give very good response that has been seen biologically. Rather, suppose even TB vaccine we give. I won't say TB vaccine. I would say BCG we give intradermally. Otherwise, all these bacilli and other typhoid vaccines, they don't mount that much response intradermally. That's what experimentally it has been seen. Reasons are many, but most of the viral vaccines work very wonderfully, intradermal.
So all our colleagues who are watching this program, the purpose of bringing Dr. Umesh Bharti was that Dr. Umesh Bharti has successfully pursued the government of Himachal to implement and show that intradermal rabies vaccine works. 100% of the population can be covered with the rabies, and even school-going children can be covered with the vaccine, which is 0.2 ml, one dose is given to 5 people. And if we work on it, if you do a brainstorming of it, no pharmaceutical will come forward because they are looking for profits. But once we are looking for a mass immunization, specifically Indian vaccine, which is developed by the Bharat Biotech and ICMR and NIV, is an inactivated vaccine. It's an inactivated killed vaccine. So IMA, if they agree, can write to ICMR to explore this possibility also. I will produce a document and give it to IMA, the basis of why the vaccine by the Bharat Biotech. They should also simultaneously try it in few people and see the response. Theoretically, intradermal response will always be better. The antigen presenting cells will immediately give a message to macrophages and to other cells. T cell, B cell response will be better, and the cellular response will be better whenever we talk about antigen presenting cells. So thank you, Dr. Umesh Bharti. I'll hand it over to Dr. Ashokan.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. KK. It was very interesting to hear the change of perception. Actually, he made it so simple that an intradermal vaccination could be equally or perhaps better effective than giving it in intramuscular. I think if you prepare a document, we will be happy to forward it to ICMR. Dr. JK, do you want to make any comment?
Yes, it's very important that this message should be recommended because government in its in its blueprint is trying to give vaccines for 30 crore people, but the cold chain issues, the venue issues, all these are a problem in many of the states. But if it can be, one dose of vaccine can be given to many people simultaneously, that will solve many of the issues, and even vaccine shortage can be prevented. So this alternate method of intra-dermal issue should be considered and recommended to ICMR by IMA. Thank you, sir.
So,
Dr. KK, you may conclude the meeting, sir.
So thank you, Dr. Shokan. Thank you, Dr. Jayakishan. And lovely having you, Umesh Bharti. God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Continue your good work.
Thank
And
you,
you
sir.
rightly deserve your national honor, which was given to you. And
Thank
this seminar and webinar will be on our IMA website forever. And you will be now, you will feature in our IMA library as a distinguished lecturer of IMA on this day.
Thank you.
So for all of you, thank you very much. We'll be back next Saturday with one more lecture. Thank you.